Welcome to the Virtual Ball Boys podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined once again by my good friend Matt.
Every once in a while, a game will come along, and after you play part of it, you have a little existential crisis.
It's just a little
Just a little one.
crisis as a treat.
That was me with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Literally, I messaged almost everyone I knew to be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Did you finish it, or was it just
No? That was like the end of chapter 5, and there's 7 chapters in the game. Like, there's still so much of the game left.
Yeah.
But that's just there's so many moments in JRPGs that are not the finale, but are just so game defining.
Yes, absolutely.
That this moment, not only was it extremely profound in what it was trying to get across, but it was also the actual story moment that they portrayed was fucking incredible, and it completely summarized the entire thesis of the game in just in 2 fucking hours of cutscenes, essentially.
Yeah. What it's almost like, what else do they have to prove with 2 more chapters? They did.
Oh, Chris.
there's definitely much more.
There will be more. Believe me.
I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad that you're experiencing it, because I know that you've, even from afar, have been a Xenoblade fan.
Yeah, I've seen playthroughs of the first 2 games, but I really needed this game. I was very I was very upset with how much I didn't like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Because it's a game I really wanted to like, and it's a game that by all definitions of video games and me as a person, it's a game I should like, but it just did not click with me for whatever reason. So I just needed another game that's like RPG-ish that isn't Final Fantasy 14,
right?
That I could just get really, really into, and this is that game. And holy shit, am I happy that it's that game. I love finding shit in the most unexpected places. And now that Final Fantasy 14 is not an unexpected place for me to find amazing shit, because I expect amazing shit from it often, it's fun to get it somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, it flew. I thought that when Xenoblade Chronicles 3, when it came out, it felt like it fell a little under the radar just because of the it generally, the JRPG audiences, they're not at the forefront of the gaming industry, or the forefront of people's minds when it comes to video game, especially obviously in the West. But the fact that it got the nom for the Game Awards, to get the game get nominated for Game of the Year, that to me was just a sign, oh, they did it. They actually, this is Xenoblade Chronicles finally hit the point where even though it has been beloved for many people for many years, this was the one to make. This was the one to make a statement and be we're legit.
I remember at Gaming Coop we did the year it came out. We did it in June. It came out in October, and I heard one song from it, and I said at that moment, I was like, this game is going to be one of the greatest games ever made. Just listening to the song, that one single song, I knew for a fact. Yeah. that was going to be the case.
This is more broad, but I'm like, man, what a generation the Nintendo Switch has been. It's so many good games, so many freaking good games, and Xenoblade in that conversation as well. But enough about the Switch. We are here once again, talking football. It's week 6, I should say. We are in the thick of it. And figured, you know what, we've been going hard, making our stupid predictions, and I guess I should say I've been making stupid predictions. We've been talking about all the games. It's time to kick up our feet and have a good time. It's time to play a little game. And so for our mid segment today, we're going to the Immaculate Grid, and we're going to play a little Immaculate Grid through the podcast, and we'll go over how that's going to work from a listening point of view, it's not too difficult. You'll understand once we explain it to you how that's going to work. Me and Matt will work together to fill out that grid. But before we do that, and before we get to our week 6 picks, let's do our recap of week 5, starting with the game of the week. And ultimately, like, this was a hard week to choose between games. I personally felt like there wasn't really a game that stood out.
There were a lot of blowouts of the week, I'll say that.
Yeah. And for one poor team, they're in the blowout of the week two weeks in a row. I think unless I you know what, I might have miscalculated. I'll double check that, but I'm almost certain that this is the same team getting blown out twice in a row as your blowout of the week. I
think you're right.
But the game of the week, I chose Ravens at Steelers.
Okay, I almost chose this. Like, I think I need to reevaluate what I do for Go Fuck Yourself game of the week, because this might also be a Go Fuck Yourself game of the week.
Yeah,
because
up there.
17-10 is not reflective of what the fuck happened during this game.
Yeah. I mean, the gist of it essentially is this. The Ravens had a decent start overall to the game, and it felt like if players played better, which is, I guess, is the case for any football game, but like especially for this one where Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball to you, and you have hands that should catch these balls.
Should catch footballs, being an NFL receiver. Like, if the ball hits you, like, what else can Lamar do at this point? He's hitting you in the fucking hands.
Yeah. You know, you would think that things would have this could have been a much different game if the Ravens receivers actually caught the ball multiple times. There was just so many drops to be had in this game, and that left the door open for the Steelers, who did not have that great of a game at all up until probably the middle of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth. Really, I think it was like the fourth quarter where they had a safety that they got when Lamar and crew were backed up in the end zone, and then they ended up having some turnovers as well that put the Steelers in a better position as well. Some like great plays from Pickens, and as well as the the running back who I'm going to forget the name of because it's not Najee Harris, it's a new guy.
Jalen Warren.
Thank you, Jalen Warren.
Chris, if you need a under the radar skill position player who can be started in fantasy football, odds are I know that player's name.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, because he came out of nowhere, and so I apologize for not knowing his name.
Oh, I've known about Jalen Warren for like 2 or 3 years. Like,
right, there you go. That was a nice performance from him, and that ended up putting the game in position for the Steelers to win, and I think it was topped off by some great plays by Alex Highsmith and as well as T.J. Watt. But Matt, just a torturous day for the Baltimore Ravens in a game that they should have won.
Yep, this was also my guarantee, so not looking great at a lot of things. I am worried about Baltimore, and this is why I preseason I was like, when Lamar got that contract, I was pretty high on Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the story of the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I wish it weren't. But it is.
I'm also mad at myself for the fact that I could have chaosed the Steelers. I said I was interested in chaosing the Steelers. And if I did that, I would have not picked the Rams, and I would pick the Eagles. And I'm just there's so many mistakes. It was a rough.
It's okay.
It was a rough picking week in general.
It's fine
for all sides here, but
yeah.
Regardless, I'm kind of dumbfounded that it just keeps on happening to the Ravens, where they seem like they load up at receiver, and then every single time it feels like it just doesn't want to work. And like Zay Flowers, I think overall has had a pretty decent start to the year, but it has been a couple weeks here where he's made some bad mistakes, and this one was a rough one in particular. But Bateman was rough in this one. Aguilar had like one really amazing catch, and then he followed it up by dropping a easy in the bucket touchdown
Yep.
Beckham had a rough game. He went out with an injury, then came back and just was not very productive at all. It just overall, it was just a complete mess. Like Mark Andrews, who's all reliable usually for Lamar Jackson, dropped a big catch that he should have gotten, I think, in the end zone. It just like, man, what's going on with this team? It should not be as hard as it is, because I don't even think the Steelers defense played all that amazingly in this game. It was just the Ravens.
It was offensive problems.
Right, yeah, just shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. Then I feel like the Steelers defense like woke up in the last, in the fourth quarter, and that's kind of how that ended up falling apart. But yeah, rough one for them. Blowout of the week, yeah, there was a lot of blowouts, but once again, the Patriots are sitting here.
Stinky football team.
Yeah, sitting here, got completely their doors blown off of them in their own stadium. 34-0 was the final score. The Saints, a nice shutout. The Saints are sneaky good on the road, by the way. Apparently, like the last few years, they have been one of the better road teams overall.
It's good to know. Let me check where I've got them this week.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Shit. Oh wait. Okay, hold on.
Sneaky good road team. But the Saints are not like doing that much on offense. But that they just did just enough in this game to kind of get like it just was a complete like dismantling of the Patriots as an organization at this point, where it is just very clear that they have not done enough to help Mac Jones. They've also have Mac Jones as their quarterback, and that's a problem in itself.
That's a problem.
And their offense is just completely not doing it, and now the injuries on defense are making it so that way that defense is not nearly as effective as they probably wanted it to be at this point of the season, and it's just turning into a complete another mess. So I'm very I'm not crying for the Patriots. I think we still have the hangover of their reign of terror for many years, that it's going to be hard for me to ever feel too much sympathy for this team. That said, it's going to be interesting to see if and when this Patriots team tries to bounce back, like if they're able to bounce back.
I don't think they do it with Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess I'm looking at the schedule. Like there are some opportunities that they have where they could get some wins and maybe get back into like a somewhat decent position.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, back-to-back blowout, complete destruction losses in a row. That's not going to really help morale on the team. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And last but not least, the chaos of the week. A couple of chaotic things did happen this week, but I would be remiss if I did not put the Bears in this position. The Bears at the Commanders. The Bears took it to the Commanders. Had a very nice game overall.
Oh my God, Chris.
Yeah.
Great fucking football game. I am convinced that Chase Claypool is one of the worst players of all time.
And it's
solely because of his removal did the offense become unlocked.
He didn't even play in like week 2 or whatever it was. And yeah,
well, he didn't play week 3 against the Broncos, and we scored 28 points.
Right, whatever that was.
Yeah.
He had, I think the fact that he just had a presence in and around that building still.
Yep.
There was a huge issue, and then it absolutely wild. Just absolutely wild that now you're feeling a lot better after 2 weeks of nice productive offensive play from Justin Fields and DJ Moore specifically. It's good stuff.
there's a lot of really good stuff that happened. It's nice to see that, like, the game plan can be opened up, that Fields can make passes. The offensive line finally showed up against Washington, who has a pretty good defensive front. Like, Tevin Jenkins is finally healthy and played amazing on Thursday. The first round pick, Darnell Wright, doing great. When Fields gets more than 2 fucking seconds to throw the ball, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
So, loved seeing the Bears happen. I think that this is more pro Bears than it is anti Commanders, but I also don't think that the Commanders are going to be lighting anyone's world on fire this season either.
No, I think that's definitely become clear. It is worth noting that on that Thursday, Bears legend Dick Butkus passed away.
Yes, Bears and Illini legend. Believe me, I had my fill with him.
Yeah,
at Illinois.
Yeah, he was a pretty active like NFL alum for many years. So I kind of know him as like a face of the league in a lot of ways, and so
yep. Also, one of the best names in sports history.
Yes,
in human history.
Yeah,
really.
I think it's really interesting because you have like Dick Butkus, and like I think about other Bears legend like Mike Ditka, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of big Bear dicks.
Mm-hmm. You're damn right.
God damn it! Sometimes I want more of a reaction of you when I say the word big bear dicks.
Yeah. Nothing surprises me more. I guess
that's fair. That's completely. I've dug my own hole ultimately with the things that I say. Anyways, no, respect to Dick Butkus, and I'm. It definitely. I was surprised that there wasn't more like. Oh man, they had Dick Butkus was with them tonight. I feel like everyone just kind of ignored that, and they were like. Yeah, the Bears just kick ass.
Yeah, the Bears just kick ass. Justin Fields is a great quarterback. We know who needs Caleb Williams. You know what we're fucking doing? We're gonna let the Panthers lose every goddamn game this season.
There you go.
Still give us the number 1 overall pick. Trade it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And continue building around Justin Fields. The plan is in place. The vision is here. 2 weeks ago, this was not what everyone was saying, but you see the hope. You see the hope now.
Yeah.
I hope it continues, and the Bears actually have a pretty decent spread of matchups these next few weeks, where they can build some momentum. They can build that confidence in Fields. I am fucking thrilled that this is the result and this is the trajectory of my personal franchise quarterback, Justin Fields.
I'm hopeful for you guys as well. We'll see how it plays out. I hope it's not just one game. We'll see.
Well, no, I'm gonna count the Broncos game in that. Not a complete success, obviously.
Right.
But you don't score 28 points on accident. So
sure.
You give up a 28-7 lead on accident. Yeah.
I don't know if it's on accident.
Well, through egregiously bad defense.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah, that works better.
And turnovers, but
yeah. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm going to let's see. Hold on. I want to make sure that I am on the right screen here. I'm going to share my screen to you, Matt. And we're going to play some Immaculate Grid.
Let's do it.
So, if you don't know how this works, we're doing this through Pro Football Reference, their game that they have made, where they are, essentially it's a game where you want to fill out a grid with a bunch of players, and there's 3 labels for the rows and 3 labels for the columns. It's a 3x3 grid and all. And what you're trying to do is match the row and the column title, essentially. So, for instance, the first row and first column here is the Packers and Raiders. So you want to pick a player that has played for both the Packers and the Raiders. And then the next column over is the Bears. So you want to match the Packers and the Bears for this next player. And then the third column is 3,000 plus yards passing season. So you want to have a person that played for the Packers that had a 3,000 yard passing season. And then so the columns, like I said, are Raiders, Bears, and 3,000 yard passing season. the rows are the Packers, Jets, and Lions, and so it's essentially you're just trying to match these rows and columns together to form the 9-person grid. So Matt, where do you want to start here?
So the ultimate goal of the Immaculate Grid is to also try to get as obscure of a player as you can.
Sure. Yeah, it gets a better score. Than
so like with Packers and Raiders, you could do Devontae Adams, but you could also do Jordy Nelson.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do Jordy Nelson then. All right. So that's filled in that one. Bears and Packers. The first person that I think of here is Adrian Amos.
We could do Adrian Amos. I think defense would be more obscure. We could do.
Well, Adrian Amos is a safety, isn't he?
I thought he was a lineman.
No, he's a
safety.
He's a safety.
Okay, all right, my bad. So we could do him. I think defensive players would be least likely. We could also do a Robert Tonyan is there. Jimmy Graham is there. Equanimous St. Brown is probably something that no one's thinking of.
Yeah, I that's true. Saint Brown, I think I like the best out of all that.
Yep.
All right, and then 3,000-yard passing season. Well,
look, I don't know.
Two obvious ones.
We got two options, and I hate both of them.
Yeah.
One of them at least didn't disenfranchise an entire state, so let's just do Aaron Rodgers and get it over with.
All right, there you go. Fair enough. I for a second I froze because the Jets are a row, and I was just like, wait a second, should we wait? Should we hold off? But it's okay. We could put Aaron Rodgers there. All right, so now we have Jets and Raiders.
Jets and Raiders. That might be a hard one. I can give you a Bears and Jets right away.
Yeah, shoot.
Matt Forte.
Yes, yeah, that's a good one. Raiders and Jets.
My mind immediately goes to wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think like Corey Davis was never on the Raiders. Crabtree was never on the Jets, which I think of just journeyman.
Right.
Aguilar wasn't. Jacoby Myers wasn't on the Jets. This one's hard.
Well, we could skip it.
We can come back to it, yeah.
Jets 3,000+ yard passing season. Hear me out. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Do you think so? Did he get to 3,000?
I think with the Fitzmagic season he might have.
Okay.
But I mean,
the other option is to do like a Joe Flacco because they don't have to have gotten it with this team.
I thought it was.
Was it? Okay.
When paired with a team, 3,000-yard passing yards must be achieved in a season with that team.
Oh, okay.
When paired with another category, it does not need to be in the same season.
Okay, all right. Never mind then.
Yeah, so because he's the only one I could think of. Like I think they had Chad Pennington at one point. I'm sure Joe Namath would be in that consideration as well.
3,000 seems a lot for
that era.
that era.
Yeah. I might take the risk and say Fitzy because
I'd be okay. I think I'm okay with that
because I think he did hit it. Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah, we got it.
Definitely. I want to put respect on Jared Goff's name.
Yes. Yeah. The easy one would have been to do Matthew Stafford, but yes, we can do Jared Goff for the 3,000+ yards passing season. So here's what we have left. We have Jets, Raiders, Lions, Raiders, Lions, Bears. That's the three that we have left. Well, if the easy one is David Montgomery for Lions, Bears.
David Montgomery is a very easy one. We can just do that one, I think.
Yeah. And then now we've filled out 7 of 9.
Which is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, that's
pretty good.
We're in a very good shape. The Raiders are gonna kill us, I think, here.
Amir Abdullah. No. Who was that? There were two guys who on the Lions and the Vikings who had very similar names, and Amir Abdullah was on the Vikings, I think. Not the Lions. I can't remember who was on the Lions there, unless Amir Abdullah was on the Lions. That's my initial thought.
Amir Abdullah was definitely on the Lions.
Okay, he's on the Raiders right now.
And he has played?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's do that then. All right. So then, all right, we got it. So that we're 8 for 9. Now we just have the
Raiders Jets.
So in my mind, usually when I'm struggling to think of someone, I go backup quarterbacks. Or because you've had Mariota there, you've had Carr there, you have
Mariota's
Garoppolo
on
there.
the Eagles right now.
Mario's on the Eagles now.
I literally do not remember anyone pre-Carr.
Yeah. Trying to think of like other there's been like the skill players that were around back in like 2015 when I was watching. That was like you had Amari Cooper there, Latavius Murray.
Murray was not on the Jets.
No, I don't think so. Trying to think of Trent Brown. Was Trent Brown ever like that? That's an offensive lineman that I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Kelechi Osemele.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but cool.
Yes,
nice.
That was an offensive guard. Look at
us.
That was he was like one of like the big time free agent signings. I want to say around 2015, 2016 that he was on the Raiders for a while as well. And I think I think I'm pretty sure he was a Raider and then became a Jet if I remember correctly. So yeah. 9 for 9. We did it. Very good. I like the idea of doing this a couple of times during the season because I think that it's
fucking Josh McCown. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Josh McCown would have been good for the Jets Raiders. Let's see. Brandon Marshall would have been good for Jets Bears.
Yeah, that was my other one.
Jimmy Graham was the most common answer for Packers Bears. The meeting there. Joe Namath would have been good for the Jets there, but we took the risk with Fitzpatrick and it worked.
Fuck Brett Favre.
And,
fuck Aaron Rodgers too, but
I like that Favre was the more common answer.
Oh yeah. Of course.
People just quickly forget. All right, well there you have it. That is the Immaculate Grid. Definitely go play it yourself. I believe Pro Football Reference. If you look up Pro Football Reference and Immaculate Grid, it should be like the very first thing that shows up.
Yep, and there's a few different sites that do it too if you want to. Play multiple a day.
Yeah, they actually they recently put up the archive Pro Football Reference where you could go back and do any days that you missed. So
nice.
Yeah, you can definitely study up on that. All right, well, let's talk some week 5 picks for what we did. Not our best week. Matt, you went 7 for 7, so at least you hit 500. I went 6 for 8. And it's killing me because I'm like, if I did the chaos of the Ravens or on the Steelers, pick the Eagles, I would not have felt compelled to pick the Cowboys because I did that just out of pure wanting, so that I would have been in such a better position. It's fine. I can't regret it.
It's fine.
But yeah, we both ended up losing our guarantees and our chaos. That actually ended a nice streak that I had where I actually was 4-0 with guarantees starting the season. So unfortunately the Packers let me down on that front.
As they do, everybody.
As they do. Yeah. So that was, you had -1 points on the week. I had -3 points on the week. And so through 5 weeks, Matt, 49-29 is your picking record with 20 points. I went 43 and 35 thus far with 8 points total, so I'm in a bit of a hole. But again, it's very early. Lots of weeks left to play. We'll see how it goes. Matt, how about you get us started with week 6 picks?
Oh God, do I have to?
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football. The Denver Broncos choked away the Nathaniel Hackett revenge game. To the Jets versus the Chiefs, who continue to be a good football team, and have definitely not turned into the Patriots and the team that everyone accuses the refs of helping. That definitely isn't currently happening. What do you think?
I do want to shout out the fact that after the Jets won that game, that they did post a picture of Kevin James as the Broncos coach, with the quote, "When you lose to the off-season champs." It's very good. It was very good. I am picking the Chiefs here.
My laptop apparently hasn't been plugged in, but I caught it.
Okay.
Before it went out. I'm also picking the Chiefs.
Okay. We're safe.
My laptop might have had more juice in it than the Broncos do right now.
There you go. Boom. Got him. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens at the Tennessee Titans. Ravens, we already talked about.
Except not exactly.
That's true. That's
London game.
Another London game. I forgot about that. Ravens are, we already talked about them. The Titans had a close but tough loss against the Indianapolis Colts. The first time the Colts have won against the Titans in quite some time. Actually, I think it had been a bit since the Colts had a win in that rivalry. And that is surprising considering the fact the Titans, I think, had a very long streak where they could not beat the Colts prior to that. So it's just that rivalry is just very streaky in general. Anyways, Titans taking on the Ravens in London. What do you got?
I think that overall the Ravens are a better team, but I think that the international game combined with the Ravens tending to be a little bit fucky, I'm actually going to team Chaos Tennessee.
God damn it!
Is this one yours too?
Yeah, that's mine too.
There's no good chaoses like past couple weeks. I don't know what to say. There's like one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, it's, you know what? I might stick with my pick of the Titans, but maybe put my chaos somewhere else. Because there's another one that I did see. There's a couple of ones that I have like picked that I could use.
Okay.
So that way at least it's different. But I'm going to pick the Titans too because I kind of feel this in a similar vein of like, I feel like the Titans have if they have one thing, it's a very good pass rush, and I also think that despite their offense not being that great this year, it's been better than the Steelers, and just that combined, I just feel like with the way the Ravens are trucking, I just kind of like the Titans in this matchup being a little bit more consistent. Plus, the Titans are doing that thing again where they're winning one and then losing one and winning one and then losing one because they always fucking do that. The Titans, yeah. And so we're right now they're coming off a loss and they get the win this week.
All right, Washington Commanders versus the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons coming off of a close victory against the Texans. Commanders going to try to put the pieces together after the Bears loss. Who do you think is going to win?
It's so hard to say right now what the Falcons are. Like, I want to believe in them, and they had, I think, their best game this past week. Even though it was not like this amazing offensive shutout, like show off thing. I think Desmond Ridder had his best game. Kyle Pitts played well. Drake London had a great catch. So I feel good about this Falcons team-ish, and I think they'll do fine against the Commanders.
I am also going to pick the Falcons here. They are very close to having Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, so I think that they're going to really try to win their division as much as get in a spot to win their division as much as they can.
Yeah, I concur.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins,
Minnesota Vikings at Chicago Bears. Both teams sitting at 1-4. Vikings losing in a tough matchup, and they also lost Justin Jefferson for the foreseeable future due to injury. Meanwhile, the Bears, of course, as we talked about, are trying to ride their first win strong into this game. What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, you saw the Bears' offense against the Commanders. Justin Fields and DJ Moore are the literal 1-2 combo that will rock the NFL. I don't think the Vikings will have a chance without Justin Jefferson. And I'm going to guarantee the Chicago Bears.
You are riding too high. I need to bring you down. You need to just... I mean, look, it may work out for you. I'm just worried. I don't want you to get hurt again. That's all.
I mean, we could get hurt here. I want to ride this high. This might be the only high that I get this whole season.
To be fair,
or maybe it will continue the next 4 weeks. I don't think the Vikings are going to win this game because they've been playing everything close. They don't have their number one receiver.
To be fair, I am picking the Bears in this matchup.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's just more so like the fact that you're putting a guarantee on it is what's concerning me. That's all.
Oh, don't worry about it, Chris.
It's all good.
Don't worry about it. Also the Bears are getting literally their entire secondary back from injury.
Yeah, that's great. That's
So
fantastic. Yeah, those are all good signs. I am very hopeful for this Bears team, and like I said, I'm picking them mainly because of the Justin Jefferson stuff. If Justin Jefferson was playing, I'd feel a little bit more confident in picking the Vikings.
The Justin Jefferson is what made me is what made me guarantee. I think I would have been picking the Bears regardless.
Sure.
But Justin Jefferson being out is caused the guarantee.
Yeah, I think that's that when you put it that way, that's completely fair.
All right, next up, Seattle Seahawks versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Seahawks in a pretty good spot, sitting at 3-1. You saw some flash of life from the Bengals last week. Finally, do you think the Bengals will continue their win streak, or not win streak? They got one game win streak technically, but do you think they'll continue their bounce back, or Seattle, who's been pretty solid, will take them down?
So Seattle's
also coming off their bye.
They're coming off their bye, and they're also kind of accumulated a little bit of a win streak. They haven't lost since the Week 1 game against the Rams.
Yep.
I'm happy to see that Joe Burrow is playing better. I like and that him and Jamar Chase specifically had a monster game. Like, I'm very happy about that. I still I'm struggling to trust this process that they're going through. And I do like the Seahawks a lot. I feel like they've played very well the last few weeks, and I feel a little bit better about them than I do about like when the Bengals played the Cardinals last week, and the Cardinals are frisky. They definitely have we picked them to win that game. So, but I think the Seahawks are just a much better team than that. I am feeling as confident about this that I'm guaranteeing the Seahawks in this matchup.
I will do a regular Seahawks pick, not a guarantee.
Sure,
but I agree with you. I think the Seahawks are really solid and will be able to take care of business.
Yeah, there you go. Next up, the San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. Would have been a more interesting matchup, I think, if the Browns had continued their defensive dominance in Week 4. They fell flat on their face instead against the Ravens. Meanwhile, the 49ers are just kind of looking unstoppable. They're firing in all cylinders on offense. They're playing amazing defense. You can't stop this team, but will the Browns do so, Matt?
No. And in fact, the Browns defense is obviously very good. Watson may not play, and if he does, won't be at 100%.
Yeah.
And this 49ers defense is going to feast on that.
And I also think if there's any team that could diagnose this Browns defense, it's probably the Niners. It's them. It's among the offenses that I think could just break through against this team. I think that maybe the only worry that I have is it's at home, and Cleveland tends to play good at home, but yeah, that's a very minor thing in general. 49ers are just playing too well.
Yes, 49ers are right now the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
In every metric. Like you need the 49ers to have something to go wrong for them to have a chance at beating them, and that's not going to happen here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm picking the 49ers.
Christian McCaffrey MVP.
Yeah.
Next up, Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins having a bounce back win against the Giants after their loss to Buffalo. Panthers still trying to work it out, and a lot of drama coming out of the Panthers today. If you didn't see that,
talk to me about it. I feel like I must have missed it.
So it was a report that David Tepper overstepped the coaching desires for who they wanted to pick at quarterback, and picking Bryce Young instead of C.J. Stroud.
Oh no.
Yeah, which is not great and really does not do wonders for Bryce Young's confidence. I do want Bryce Young to succeed. I think he's a nice enough guy. But the panic in the organization, I'm sure, is setting in when they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league and won't have that pick because they have Bryce Young, who has shown not as much as Stroud and Richardson have.
No, yeah, it's been a rough go of it. I just kind of was chalking it up to just having a rough rookie year, But
Yeah.
now the idea that this Panthers organization is kind of that might have been divided on this.
A clip resurfaced from March before the draft where that between quarterback coach Josh McCown and Stroud,
right,
saying like, "Oh, when you have a home here in Charlotte, we can like play ball or something."
Right.
Have a court. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think that was the thing that many people hung on to. Were like, oh yeah,
Yep.
the Panthers are picking C.J. Stroud,
Stroud.
and then it just all of a sudden the story it just flipped the narrative. Yeah, not great.
Not great.
I'm picking the Dolphins.
I'm picking the Dolphins.
Next up, the 3-2 Colts go up against the 3-2 Jaguars. Colts are in a rough spot here. They have lost Anthony Richardson for the time being. The Jaguars are starting to play a little bit better. They're on a 2-game winning streak, mainly because they played in London. What do you think is going to happen in this game?
I think that Jaguars and Colts always seems fucky.
It's fucky.
It's always fucky.
Mm-hmm.
Minshew will be playing, but Minshew has been playing pretty well when he has been playing this season.
Minshew's your guy. Remember?
I love Gardner Minshew. Like this comes from the number one Gardner Minshew supporter on this podcast.
You had said he was like your under the radar guy when we had that segment last year, and he came out of nowhere. I was just like, wait, what? And you sold him, and hey, here he is in the spotlight again.
Here he is in the spotlight. Yep. I think I'm still gonna pick the Jaguars.
Okay.
But it's close. Like this is not an indictment on the Colts anyway. I'm just gonna pick the Jaguars here.
I am going to. This is just working off of spread and everything. This is the team chaos I'm gonna pick for the Colts here. I think that this Colts team, they have a backup quarterback, and they are not going to have like the talent of Anthony Richardson. I think that's definitely going to hurt them in this game. But there's just something about this Jaguars team that I still don't quite trust. I feel like London just fuels them in a good way. And hey, they went to London last year, and that's when they started to kind of get better. But I'm still just, I want to see another good win from them before I really fully trust them. I just really like this Colts team overall. I think that they have some good depth overall. Maybe more work for Jonathan Taylor will also be here. So I'm Team Chaos in the Colts here.
All right. I like it. Next up, New Orleans Saints, who are apparently a really good team on the road, take on the Houston Texans. Texans close loss in Atlanta last week. Will they be able to take down the other AFC South team, NFC South team? That is.
Yeah, I mean, we did mention earlier about the Saints having a very good road record overall. That said, I can't stop thinking about this Texans team. They're fun. I really love them. And I think I'm going to pick them just because I still like them a lot. I do think the Saints defense will play a role in this game, and like I think they could play as well as what the Falcons did last week, and that could hurt the Texans overall. But I just believe that I feel like C.J. Stroud can learn from the mistakes of last week, which I don't think he even made that many mistakes, and I think that he could have a better game in this one and take care of business here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with sorry, I'm gonna choose the Texans.
Yeah, you're picking the Texans. Okay,
I'm picking the Texans. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Next up, the New England Patriots take on Josh McDaniels and the Las Vegas Raiders. A sneaky weird matchup, but I kind of like it.
Yep.
Raiders, of course, coming off of a fine win over the Packers. Josh McDaniels has been making some weird ass fourth down decisions.
Oh, they've been not weird, just awful.
Yeah, it has been kind of absurd, and he's gotten away with it. It feels like at least twice. I don't know.
How many wins do they have? That's how many times he's gone away with it.
Right. I mean, I forget if there was any sort of controversy with the Broncos game, but then 4 weeks later, I feel like he got away with a very shitty decision there. Yep. And then you have the Patriots, who have just had it rough. They have just been absolutely brutal the last couple of weeks. Really, the Jets are their only bright spot, and even that was not really a gimme for them. What do you think's going to happen in this game?
This is exactly the type of game that after like a pretty good win by the Raiders that they would fuck up. I almost wanted to team chaos the Patriots, but the line is too close.
I had the Patriots as my team chaos, and I saw the line. I was just like, damn. And then I saw the line for the Titans game. I was just like, yo, I like that better. And then you fucking said the Titans, and so then I moved to the Colts. We've been moving around.
Yeah.
I moved off of the Titans.
I truly believe in my heart of hearts, though, that the Patriots will win this game because the Raiders will fuck something up.
I'm so with you. I'm picking the Patriots on this one. I can't, like, there's all the evidence to the contrary, and like Max Crosby's playing amazing. He's having one of his best seasons thus far, and yet I just sit here and I'm like, I trust no one else on this fucking squad. It maybe except for Devontae Adams. Like, I trust no one else. Man, I think that's why I'm picking the Patriots, even though I don't really trust anyone on that team either.
Nope.
So it's just I can't wait for it. This is one of those games where I'm like, I'm looking forward to this one because I want to just see that battle between McDaniels and Belichick. I don't know. I don't know if it's happened. I don't know if it happened last time McDaniels was a head coach. I was not watching football at that time, but right now, just considering everything that's going on with McDaniels, it's just fun. It's just a fun matchup.
What a jackass.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game was flexed into the later time slot because both of these teams are competitive.
Yes.
4-1 versus 3-1. Who do you got, Chris?
I'm picking the Lions. I'm just gonna back them. I love this team. I feel like they're in such a good spot, and I feel like I think that they could have a hiccup here. I'm not gonna go completely like against the Bucs here because I do think the Bucs have played decently, but I also just feel like the Lions are a more complete team at this point, and I think that they'll hopefully get a lot of their players that have been absent. Hopefully they get a lot of them back for this game. And the Bucs, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a close game, and that's why it's an exciting 4:00 game. But I believe more in Dan Campbell than I do Todd Bowles right now.
Do you think the Lions are the third best team in the NFC right now?
I think you can easily make that argument. Yeah.
Behind the Eagles and 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even.
The Cowboys would be the only others that you could even consider.
I guess right now, I would still maybe say Cowboys over Lions, but man.
But who do you want to root for more?
Oh, yeah, it's easy. That's an easy question. I want to root for the Lions more than any of those teams.
Yeah, let's go Lions.
It's fun. You're picking Lions.
Let's go Lions.
All right, perfect. That sounds like a non-answer, but I know what you mean. Arizona Cardinals.
What do you mean? I'm fully in support.
It's just more so I'm like, did you pick the Lions? You're like, let's go Lions. I'm just like, okay, sure. I mean, I know that's what you didn't outright say I'm picking the Lions. You're just saying let's go, and I'm just like, okay. It's all right. Arizona Cardinals at Los Angeles Rams, a battle between the bottom of the NFC West, I should say. Cardinals definitely are starting to come a little bit more down to earth after, I think, overall a more surprising, decent start than expected. They should be able to still play well, but they're going to be without James Conner. Rams, meanwhile, coming off a tough loss against the Eagles. Matthew Stafford will probably still play. He played with the injury that he has, and I don't think anything is further aggravated that, so he probably should get healthier for this game. What do you think's going to happen?
I'm going to go with the Rams. Stafford's injury is a little concerning, but I think that their offense is clicking more, definitely more than it did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Puka Nacua, who's the amazing wide receiver. Cooper Kupp just came back from injury, and he could be the next Puka Nacua. I think it's going to be...
That's very good.
Yeah, I really like the Rams offense, and the Cardinals aren't out of it, but losing James Conner is going to hurt them for sure. I think the Rams are just a little bit more likely to win.
I'm with you. I love this Rams team. I think they're fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think they're like there's been a couple of teams that have come out of nowhere. It feels like this is one of them that I'm like I feel like I could get behind a frisky Rams team that's been playing better than expected.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, oh wait, did I pick the? Oh yeah, I just picked the Rams.
Yep.
All right, so you go.
I go. Okay.
Yes.
Philadelphia Eagles take on the New York Jets. Eagles still 5-0. Were able to take down the Rams last week despite our chaos prediction.
Yeah.
Jets managed to take down the Broncos, but and Zach Wilson hasn't been playing as bad as Zach Wilson of Elb.
Sure.
But he is still Zach Wilson versus a vaunted Philly team. Will Philly get their first loss this week?
I can't pick. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep picking against the Eagles. I've done it twice and I've fallen flat on my face both times. So I'm picking the Eagles and I'm sticking with it.
Yep. I'm taking Eagles as well.
Sunday Night Football.
I'm so sorry.
The New York Giants at the Buffalo Bills. There's a chance that Tyrod Taylor plays in this game for the Giants against his former team in the Bills, who did lose, granted, against the Jaguars. It's a tough game for the Bills. Also, they keep on losing very key defenders for the season. They lost Tre'Davious White a couple weeks back. Now Matt Milano is going to be out for the year. So the Bills are starting to get a little bit weaker, unfortunately. But how will that in any way affect this game, Matt?
I don't think the Giants will have a chance here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm picking the Bills.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm bad.
This is New York. This is the true New York team.
Yeah. In New York, concrete jungles with I'm picking the Bills. I mean, yeah, what can we even be said about this Giants team at this point? It's just that they're a worse team. I think we could actually say for certain at this point, I think the Giants are a worse team than the Bears.
I think I agree with you. Considering Justin Fields leads the league in touchdown passes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is they may even be a worse team than the Panthers. If the Giants and Panthers play this year, I don't think they do, but if they did, I don't trust them to win that game against the Panthers. So that's where I'm at as a Giants fan. Boy, have things changed in a month and a half after so much optimism.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys versus the Chargers. Chargers coming off of a bye versus the Dallas Cowboys coming off of a shellacking given to them by the 49ers. Mm-hmm. Both teams in that give questionable coaching decisions energy. Thanks to their questionable coaching decisions.
Yeah.
Who's going to have less questionable decisions?
I feel if I had to pick between Mike McCarthy and Brandon Staley in terms of who I trust more, I think I trust Mike McCarthy a little bit more. I'm going Cowboys.
I am actually going to pick the Chargers.
Okay.
A little bit different.
There we go. I almost guaranteed the Cowboys, and then you know what? I don't want to do any sort of qualifier on a game that has the Chargers in it. So, yeah, there you go. All right, so I believe that's overall 2 disagreements.
Yep.
I don't think that's Cowboys, Chargers, Colts, Jaguars. I don't think we disagreed on anything else. And the guarantees are: I have the Seahawks over Bengals. You have the Bears over Vikings. I chaosed the Colts over the Jaguars, and you chaosed the Titans over the Ravens.
Yes, sir.
And I think that pretty much covers all of that. All right, there you go. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week for another edition of the Virtual Ball Boys. And of course, nothing really special going on this week outside of another London game. So yeah, enjoy your football and enjoy some really shitty primetime football until Monday night. Where
God, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough stretch. Poor. I don't understand how flex rules work, and I understand.
We get Dolphins Eagles next Sunday, Chris.
All right, well that will hopefully make up for it in some capacity. Yep. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening, and thank you, Remy, for your squeaks and support. Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night and good ball.